Merry Christmas, and welcome to a very special episode of Lights Out, your virtual campfire. I'm your holiday hostess with the mostest ghosties, Sylvia Shults. Fans of the show may remember that in June I went to Plymouth, Massachusetts on vacation. While there, I got to go on a walking ghost tour of the town, led by Janice Williams of Dead of Night Tours. You guys have heard part of that tour, but I saved the best for a Christmas present for you. So plug in the tree lights and grab your flashlights, and let's go lights out.
Free, but you can come in here, enjoy this cute little building. Has a lot of cool things. Horse-drawn fire engine, horse-drawn hearse. Second floor is a recreation of how the courthouse looked like way back when. Down below is where the jails used to be. Today they're public restrooms. If you feel brave and daring, try spending some quality time in the ladies' room. Now you don't have to make a deposit, ladies. All you have to do is go in. So, and while you're down there, water faucets might turn on, toilets may flush, and we're not talking automation, we're talking old. You're lucky you get water at all. Then you hear these creeped out sounds coming from the floor above that sounds like this. No, it's not Michael Jackson moonwalking. What it is the dragging of bodies. The year was 1778. Up in Boston, a ship named the Brigantine Arnold was loaded with cargo and men. It's going to head south to aid the Patriots in the war against the British. Soon as it sets sail on December 24th, it starts to snow. Very bad. So the captain comes into Plymouth Harbor, is going to ride the storm out. Little did he know the storm was going to last 3 days. They set their anchors. They're in the bottom of the ship. They're escaping the elements. Tide goes out. And if you see our tide in a few hours, some days there's no water to be had. And here's this ship wedged in the muck. And when the tide returned, it was with fury. It starts to crash against this wooden vessel. It now starts to fill with water. The men were forced to the upper decks. It is freezing. It is snowing. It is bitterly cold. They are hollering for help. Plymouth residents hear the cries, but they can't get to them. The storm was that bad. By the end of the third day, Plymouth Harbor is frozen. Plymouth residents go out with sleds to pull them off the ship. By then it was too late. Out of 130 people, there's only 30 survivors. The waterfront was littered with dead frozen bodies. What do we do? This being one of the largest buildings is where they stored all these dead men. They dragged their bodies across the floor. They lined them up. A few loved ones come to claim them, and they were given proper burials. But by the end of so many days, they still had 70 bodies in here. They have no idea who they are or what do we do. So they dug a big pit on the backside of Burial Hill. They take all these dead frozen men, threw them in a pit, and covered them up with dirt. Today, we have a nice little haunted building. This is one that loves the ladies and our little people. Now, these little ladies might be sitting upstairs tomorrow. They might get a tweak of the hair, a tap on the shoulder, and they'll be like, what? Or if you're in here with a loved one, you might feel an arm go around you, but it's not your loved one. It's somebody else's. It's totally awesome. Now, this will be open until Columbus Day weekend. And then it closes for the season, and it doesn't open until the second week in June. This just opened fairly recently. So you might have a little bit of activity. They allow you to take photographs. They're very good. You know, if they yell at you, just say you're on my ghost tour, and maybe that'll buy you a little reprieve. But this is one of the few that allow you to take pictures. Now, last October, one that just passed. They had just closed this like Tuesday. Friday night, we're over there taking pictures. And I tell my folks, wait to take a picture, right? But some lady was so overzealous, she went over there right where Pammy is with that kitty cat. Now, you see, there are people here. If it was any one of these windows, it would not be good because you can get a reflection. But it's these windows here. Now, the closest person is standing right here. We shouldn't pick up a reflection in that window. So when you take pictures like this, what I want you to do is we're going to step back there and take a picture of the whole building. And then when you get home, because you're going to go through your batteries really fast, okay, you're going to open up the windows and you might see, not him, but anything like that. These are all on our website. These are all on our website. All on our website. Scroll down and you will see him. Okay.
Excellent.
Now, when the ship was taking on water, the men were forced to come up on top of the deck, and they're screaming to the colony down below here, like Jane says. The colony couldn't get out there, which they actually tried to get out there and rescue them. They tried to make an ice floe, but it kept breaking up, so they couldn't reach them. But at the end of the third day, they finally walked out there because the harbor froze up solid. They walked out with a sledge and you got 100 dead frozen men. The other men that actually survived were taking these dead frozen men and stacking them up like cordwood, so they froze together, trying to keep out of the storm. When they dragged them up here to the waterfront, to Courthouse, some of the men were so frozen together, they couldn't fit them through the front door over here. They actually had to tie ropes around them. And they thought about the town brook, which is over here in back of us, which was actually the colony's drinking water. It's spring-fed; it never freezes over.
Okay.
It's in the Gristmill Park. You can actually walk that river.
Okay.
But in the 7 days, like I said, when they cleaned all the bodies, they actually had to rip up the floorboards and turn them over because it was bad luck. And that's when they dug the big pit up there and they dumped them all in. And one of the cabin boys was actually named Barnabas Downs. He was 12 years old. They thought he was dead. They heaped him up in the pile of the dead bodies, ready to drag him up to the courthouse. And one of the men actually saw like a kind of a tear coming down his, and they found out he was alive. He survived. They tried to throw him out in the warm water. He had to have both his legs cut off. His father actually came up from Cape Cod where he lived, brought him back home. He lived till about, I wouldn't say 50s.
Wow.
When he finally passed away. He wrote a little memoir. He says, having his legs cut off wasn't as bad as being thought out.
If you visit the courthouse in Plymouth, you will see a typed letter hanging on the wall. Written at the top is the notation, "Received Spring 1999, Ray, Burial Hill." The typed letter reads, "When I was vacationing in Plymouth during the fall, we went through the cemetery up on the hill, the one overlooking the town. When walking back to the car, this piece of gravestone was lying on a cement post at the start of the parking lot. It was not in the cemetery on the grass, but on the post, as if someone had left it purposely there. I think I know why it was on the post after the experiences that we have had since bringing it home. Someone probably did the same, and then returned it after having their lives turned upside down. Since I cannot make it back up there myself, I am asking you, the opener of this package, to please return this to the cemetery where it belongs, and I am sure where it wants to be. I must seriously warn you, if you do not, since this is now in your hands, you may also get cursed in the way that we have since we have been home. I am a sane professional who until now did not put much weight in superstitious folklore. However, too much has happened that can simply not be explained. I and the stone greatly appreciate your assistance. There is no signature on the typed letter, but someone, the same someone who wrote Ray Burial Hill at the top, wrote in Anonymous, Baltimore, Maryland postmark. Apparently, the dead that sleep on Burial Hill sleep lightly. For those listening to a straight podcast recording of this, as opposed to watching it on YouTube, do visit deadofnightghosttours.com and click on Meet Our Ghosts. There you'll find photographs captured by people just like you who've taken pictures while on Janice's tours. Some of those pictures have more in them than just pretty New England gravestones. And when you're on the website, click on the video for Haunted Baby Pram. Totally cool. In the next episode, we're going to be taking another look into the Black Mirror, an object held by Greg and Dana Newkirk of the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and Occult. Join us for that. You might be surprised. As the year draws to a close, I want to say thank you to everyone who joins me for these expeditions into the unknown. There's plenty of spooky stuff waiting for us on the path ahead. Merry Christmas, festive Yule, happy holidays, Io Saturnalia, happy Hanukkah, and all the rest from all of us here at Lights Out.